For months, Bitcoin's price has been going awry, and everyone is wondering what is going on with BTC. Well, looking at the statistics and other stuff, we observe a very intriguing story. This is something you want to pay attention to. Keep watching this video to figure out whether we're going to have another 50% correction in Bitcoin's price. Hey everybody! Welcome to the Millionaires Club. Millionaires Club is where future millionaires come to learn and enjoy. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell button to get notifications for new videos. And now, will Bitcoin fall another 50%? To begin with, if you look at the exchange balances, you can see that Bitcoin peaked in early 2022, and since then, people have been withdrawing Bitcoin from those exchanges. Actually, we are now at one of the lowest amounts of Bitcoin being traded on exchanges in years. This is significant because the more Bitcoin on the exchanges, the greater the sell pressure. If users are withdrawing Bitcoin from exchanges, it tells us that the market is becoming more illiquid with less sell pressure, which is normally a bullish sign. The withdrawals from the exchanges, however, aren't the only ones we're seeing. There have also been significant withdrawals from Bitcoin's ETFs all over the world. Bloomberg and UBS reported that large outflows from Bitcoin's ETFs occurred in April 2022. It's worth paying attention to any time that you get capital moving, especially when people are withdrawing Bitcoin from exchanges and ETFs. And if you look at the Block Force Capital analysts, you can see that they've had a significant point. They said that they had seen such levels of spills from exchanges 4 times so far since the beginning of 2018. 3 of those instances correlated with a not-so-old price spike. But, this is not just about Bitcoin actually. Bitcoin works in a macro environment, so you need to pay attention to this macro environment. Dylan LeClaire from Bitcoin Magazine has come out to show that the US dollar currency index is approaching a nearly 10-year high. The US dollar proceeds to rise against foreign fiat currencies and tightened fiscal conditions. We can see that since the beginning of 2021, there has been an enormous upward movement, which seems to be endless. Now, if we return to Bitcoin, you can observe all kinds of different data points. One of the things that bears are presently shouting is that the 20-day and 50-day moving averages have actually turned over and begun to decrease. In the last 2 times that this happened, we've seen Bitcoin's correction up to more than 50%. Now, the question is whether we will get that 50% correction once again. Well, time will tell. There are a couple of positive signs, like Bitcoin being withdrawn from the exchanges. But there are also some concerning signs, such as the 20-day and 50-day moving averages. So, what exactly is going to happen to Bitcoin? What are our options for the future? Tur Deemster, if you ask him, has a fantastic point. These charts, which show the 20 and 50-day moving averages, he claims draws legitimate parallels if Bitcoin does not capitulate and hold above 35,000 this time. It would be a great bullish sign, actually. Given how weak global markets are, his base case scenario is that Bitcoin will continue to fall in price with a 3 to 6 month recovery. Of course, this isn't the only item to keep in mind. There's also a lot to consider when it comes to market liquidity. When we look at how long individuals have had Bitcoin, we can see that over 65% of it hasn't moved in over a year, and there's still a significant part that hasn't moved in the last 2 weeks or 52 weeks. Well, price is determined by supply and demand. The daily supply of Bitcoin is known to us. It's methodical and transparent. Anyone in the world can audit it, but the question is whether people are prepared to purchase more of it. Well, there isn't that much Bitcoin accessible on the market, when over 65% of it hasn't moved in a year. So any rise in demand eventually drives the price higher. According to Will Clement at Blockware, Bitcoin's price is now in a precarious equilibrium between the short-term holding cost basis of $47 and the hodler indicated price of $40. In a bullish scenario, we see pushes that go beyond this short-term holder cost base. A bearish cross, on the other hand, would be a sign of impending capitulation. Finally, if we turn to Mark Newton at Fundstrat, he says that on Friday's pullback, Bitcoin seems to be breaking a critical minor 2-month trend, which will likely lead to weakness testing January lows. I have no idea where the price of Bitcoin will go next, but I know that you should be alert. Bitcoin is now in a precarious situation. Because the market is rather illiquid, a catalyst might create an enormous move to the upside. However, given the terrible global macro situation, Bitcoin might continue to decline without a catalyst, eventually capitulating and testing a much lower price. So, being alert will benefit you. Thanks for joining us in this video. What do you think? Are we going to see a huge downward trend in Bitcoin's price? Would it be possible for Bitcoin to fall another 50% in the near future? Please share your opinions with us in the comments section below.